Hi, this is Dave Perry and you're watching Retro Gaming Revival live.
Good evening. It is Wednesday. We are back to a normal Wednesday slot, although that'll probably change again next week. So I don't know why I'm saying the usual Wednesday slot, but it is Wednesday. It is 8 o'clock. It is Retro Gaming Revival live. I hope everyone is doing well. We have a really good fun show planned for this evening, so we will get straight into it. Let's go around. We have our usual panel. We have Mr. Blunners.
Hello, right?
We have Mr. Triangle Face Tim.
Hello.
We have Mr. Dorbs.
Greetings.
We are missing Mr. Ryan. He is not feeling too great, so I believe he is hiding in the comments. So please feel free to spam him and ask him all kinds of weird questions and stuff because he's not here to defend himself. So Ryan, get well soon, son. But our guest this evening, the only two-time golden joystick winner in the world. We have Mr. Christian Dinh. Welcome to Retro Gaming Revival Live.
All right.
What an intro.
Welcome.
You know, with that intro bit, do I get to be on it then in the future or not?
Oh, yes, I'm sure we can figure that out. Absolutely.
Just put it during an update, isn't it, really?
Joysticks, then, we'll get Ryan.
Yeah.
Excellent. How are you doing, Mr. Chris? Are we all good?
I'm really good. I'm really excited and nervous. So, please.
I don't
be too hard.
Oh no, man! Definitely don't be nervous. There's nothing to be nervous about. We're a bunch of schmucks, really. So you're all good. Excellent. So let's get cracking because we have a few things we're looking to get through this evening. And so one of the topics that we ask everyone that comes on is your early gaming memories. What is it that you can remember from maybe from childhood or whatever it is that really got you into video games as a hobby?
Yeah, sure. I mean, before I saw someone mention chicken wings, so if you could send some over, that'd be great.
There you go.
My earliest gaming memory, the first that I remember was I had an Amstrad CBC 464. With my parents, I didn't get the systems as soon as they came out, so I was always a bit behind. But yeah, I love that system. Favorite games would be like Arkanoid. I'm thinking Yi Are Kung Fu. Don't you remember that game? IK Plus, Barbarian, the one we spin around.
Yes. Cut the reds off.
Yeah.
Is that the one where the goblin comes out and grabs the reds?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes,
That's the one.
yes.
I love that one. Head Over Heels, Renegade, Target Renegade. I had all those games. I would always buy like the game bundles where you buy a box and you'll have like about 5-6 games in there.
Yeah.
But but what's frustrating with that system is I would load it. You wait 5-10 minutes watching the scan lines, and then you just hear the click. The tape stopped, and the game hasn't loaded. You're like, oh, got to do it all over again.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing about that.
Kids today just don't have a clue.
Not forget Daley Thompson. I love that game where you have to waggle splash.
Yeah. Ruined so many joysticks.
Most of it, I mean, I had the joystick for that, but most of it was just using the keys to play all the games. So I think like Super Sprint, everything was just with keys. I loved it. After the Amstrad, my parents got me a NES, so I went down the Nintendo route. Unfortunately, as a teacher in business is brand loyalty, so I stuck with Nintendo and went through the Nintendo path as opposed to Sega, or I called it Sega at the time. But my mates had a Master System, and then they had the games like Rocky. I remember playing that so much. It was so hard, you beat Apollo first, then you have what was it, Clubber Lang, wasn't it? Next, I believe.
Yeah.
But then when you get to Ivan Drago, oh my gosh, forget it. Just die every time.
Possible. Yeah.
But then I got NES. First games was Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. I remember always I was so happy to get one, and then I'd invite all my mates round, and there you go. That was the pack.
That is it.
That's the one. I used to do this trick where we were playing with the zapper, and then when it is my mate's turn, I'll sneakily put some tissue in the gun. Right and then was zapping.
Genius.
And then we sit every time like, and you got the little dog that comes out, and like, I'm terrible at this. And then with my turn, I'll quickly slip it out and bang, 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 bang.
What's going on?
You ever do the thing where you can get the other controller in port 2 can control the ducks? So you can actually get ducks to change. Yeah. If you put the second controller, if you press left and right, it changes the direction the duck's flying in. Yeah. So the other player can go back and wiggle it.
No one ever. It was in the instruction, but no one ever reads those, do they? Let's face it.
I used to play with my mates, he had like a younger brother who just used to be like playing the arse, and we just used to give him the controller, and then used to play. So he used to think he was playing. He used to think he was playing as a duck. Not until later on that we actually realised he was. So we just started to shut him up, and he was actually controlling the bloody ducks.
I did not know that. I know every day's a school day, but I genuinely didn't know that the second player control the ducks.
I only learned that
change my name now. I can't call myself Nintendo.
Recent years. I didn't know that back in the day. I only found that out like a few years ago when I got all the old stuff out. I was playing it and someone told me about that.
Yeah.
But when you controlled it, was it really hard to shoot? Like if someone else controlled
all you can do is change it from going left to right. So, they normally just go off in one direction. You can check all it responds to is left or right to change direction. So you can't move up and down or duck around.
So it's still pretty easy to shoot, right? Yeah. Unless you're like constantly left, right, so you're making it like
Unless you've got tissue. Unless you've got tissue.
It's not as exciting as it sounds.
You
really.
just need the tissue paper in there. That trick. But on the NES, what games did I have? The first games I had, those two. I had Blades of Steel, the ice hockey game.
Yeah.
Excite Bike.
Great fun.
I got Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
DuckTales.
Yes.
Super Off-Road. I love that game.
Yeah.
My dad bought me Dr. Mario, right? But he ended up playing it more than me. He was on it, playing the highest level and just sitting there in front of the screen playing. I was like, Dad, can I have a go now? He's like, yeah, let me finish this level. He'd been playing for like hours. So he bought that game for himself, really. But
the NES was a funny one in that they sort of, Nintendo are a bit of a funny one in that they had, I think, what was it, maybe four puzzle games that were all basically a variation of Tetris. And we had Tetris, there was Dr. Mario, is it Yoshi's Cookie or Yoshi?
Yeah,
I can't think what it was, and I'm sure there was another one.
The other Yoshi one. What was that called? Is that the one where they had the plates, and it would you'd have to line things up, and you would swap the plates around. So Mario was the bottom, moving plates, but you could get like an egg, and if you got the bottom half of an egg, you stacked a bunch of stuff on top, and if you got the top half of the egg, it would chomp down, and you'd clear them all, and then the egg would hatch, and there'd be a Yoshi inside.
Something like that. Yeah, it was all like a variation of trying to line up 4 things or 5 things in a row, and it was a real weird time. So I remember getting Dr. Mario, or renting it from like a Blockbuster or something at the time, and getting it home without looking at the box and without knowing what the game was. I just thought, there's another Mario game, and getting it home and being colossally disappointed. And then it wasn't until sort of like you get a bit older and you're like, oh, it is a good game. I was just being a sport twat. And
I mean, it's not bad. I mean, my dad will put it on the highest level, so you got all the viruses will be stacked there. You got like about 4 lines space to play with, and it would just work his way and clear it all. I was like, wow. At the time, I found it really hard, but obviously now you play back, you think, oh yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's easy now.
Yeah. The NES library though is one of those ones that is just it's got a lot of tat on it, but it does have a huge amount of like really good quality games. And I mean, you mentioned like Chippendale, which I know is, some people love it, some people hate it. I quite liked it, but DuckTales is just
DuckTales is the one.
That's a staple. That's an absolute classic. That is.
I tell you what, I didn't like as much then was a Mega Man. I found it
too hard. It's too hard.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like it. It was just too hard.
It's the Dark Souls of the NES world.
When I visited my family back in Vietnam, they would have like like internet cafes, but just gaming cafes. So it'll be all the Nintendo set up. It'll be like the Famicom, but they wouldn't have individual cartridges. They will have like 200 in one cartridges or 126 in one order. So you just have the game and you scroll through the list to pick a game. So that's what I would spend whenever I went there for like 2 weeks. I just spend like hours in there playing those games, but because the games were too expensive, about £40 each, right? I couldn't afford to buy that many games. So I loved when I went to Vietnam. It was up at 10p an hour to play. That's how cheap it was when you convert the money. So paying 10p, play an hour. Oh yeah, play another hour, please, another hour. And we'd be just playing with these 200 in one games and just scrolling through every game, playing it for a little bit, and next. I play all sorts of games, all these weird baseball games, wrestling games.
The Famicom ended up getting like a whole bunch of games that we never got in the West as well, because we got I can't remember. I don't think there's a Transformers game on the NES. There's one on the Commodore, but there's definitely one on the Famicom, and it's meant. Well, I think I've seen Angry Video Game Nerd do a whole episode on it, in that it's really difficult, but it's still a Transformers game where you actually transform from a car into a robot and shoot stuff. But we just never got anything like that over here. It was. Was there ever a Transformers game for the SNES? I don't think so. I kept dreaming for a Transformers game to appear, and in my head thinking of how it could be and how easy it is to make. I'm like, why can't any of these companies make it? It's so easy. It just never came out.
I still feel like we are owed a Gen 1 Transformers game that's really a really good one. There was one on the PlayStation 2 that was okay, where you could do you could run, and then while you're running you could transform mid-run into a car, and then like skid. What you used to do is drive into like a group of enemies, transform to the car and like drift through them, and then transform back into a robot and start shooting them as you like span around them. So that was quite fun. Right. There's like 3 levels, and there's literally I think one was a jungle, one was like desert, and one was like North Polar ice and stuff everywhere, I think. And that was it. There's like 3. There were multiple levels, but there's only 3 like backgrounds. There's no Cybertron, no cities, and just what was there was good, but there's just loads missing. It wasn't. I can't remember which one that was, but that was on the PS2, and that was probably the closest to a good Transformers game experience I've had. I think there's like a Cybertron one that a few people rated.
So when you said you could transform and skid, do you skid through them?
You could skid like
the movie where Optimus Prime came. He first arrived, and you got the touch, and then he transforms, then he jumps in the air, shooting his
exactly that. So that was quite satisfying to be able to do. But beyond that, the game was actually fairly repetitive. There wasn't really a lot in it. But just doing that was quite fun.
The War for Cybertron and Fall for Cybertron games on the 360 and PS3, they were really good. I think that's as close to Gen 1 as you get.
I might have to check those out because I've never played them. I have heard some good things about them.
See, those ones were too far down the timeline for me. I was maybe out of the loop, like really wanting to play a Transformers game. I already run it around the Super Nintendo time, so around like 93, 94.
Yeah.
That time, probably peak 95. After that, it's like, forget it.
Yeah. There's loads of fun things going back and watching the Transformers cartoon as an adult. I can remember I was watching the Transformers back through again with my old housemate when I was at uni, and we noticed like in the story they land on Earth, don't they? They're on Earth for like millions of years. I don't know how long they're there for, but they're there for like however many millions of years on Earth. And then at some point they get back to Cybertron, and there's a robot who works for Megatron. He's one of the Decepticons who's just like sat there on watch duty. And when they go back to Cybertron, he's still there, just waiting for them to come back. And so he's been sat there for millions of years, just on his own. Like, oh, Megatron, you're back. Like carrots and times. So you've been there millions of years with no one to talk to.
Strange things you pick. That's another thing we do on this is we go off on random tangents. Someone mentions something, and then we just get deviated and end up talking about something completely random and different.
That's good. That's like a normal conversation, right?
The other thing I find quite funny about the Transformers, if you watch the first episode, they haven't been to Earth yet, because when they go to Earth, they see cars and planes, don't they? And that's why they decide to transform into those things. They can be disguised. So on Cybertron, they didn't have those things. And at the beginning, I think it's Bumblebee transforms into like this weird, like I guess like a little flying saucer type thing, and just like hovers around, because that's what he was before he turned into a car, apparently. But don't really think about that.
Yeah, it'd always be a car. Always be a car to me.
I think the one game that they got on the Super Famicom, on the Super Nintendo, that we never got on in the UK or even in the West in general was there was a Back to the Future game on the Super Nintendo, and it's genuinely good. it looks like so much fun, and you just think, why wasn't that ported? Like Back to the Future was very popular in the West. I never really understood why that never made its way over. It had like proper classic Super Nintendo soundtrack to it as well. It was great.
Well, so that was only the Japanese release, was it?
Yeah, it was only on Super Famicom.
Weird.
Yeah, very bizarre, very bizarre. But from your NES and did you move to Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64?
Yeah, the natural transition from NES to the Super NES.
Yeah,
yeah. We were in school. We did have those kind of like console wars where your Sega with Nintendo.
Yeah,
always good days.
And it's too expensive. I mean, nowadays, you buy multi-platforms, but then I just couldn't. You had to concentrate on one because you can't afford to just keep buying games for both systems. So you just have to pick a path and live with it. And I think I chose the right path, by the way. Offending all Sega fans out there, but yeah, I went to the Super Nintendo. I remember my mate's got it first, and I would go around his house, and he would just leave the box there. And I think I kept picking up the box and turning it around, and you see like they'll showcase a few games. So I think it had like Super Mario World. I'll just be looking at it, just like I'll be reading a magazine where you look at screenshots and then you just imagine it moving, and so I would stare at the picture for a good 5-6 seconds each picture, just imagining in my head, jumping. So that's what I do. Just picture of me playing it. And I was just, I really want one, just can't afford one. But I think I really got a Super Nintendo when Street Fighter 2 was released, and I bought. I didn't buy the UK Super Nintendo. I bought NTSC version, the American one, because I was told that you get the full screen. It's a lot faster. And then when I was none the wiser. I bought it and I played it. It's only when I played my mate's Super Nintendo, the PAL version, I thought, what is this? What have you done to the machine? Why is it so slow? Like, why do you got the black borders on the top of yours? Like, and why is it so slow, by the way? What have you done to it? Go, no, this is how it is. I thought, no, you should play mine.
You had the ugly SNES then. The ugly one.
Yeah,
the American
Street
one.
Fighter 2, that's the one I joined it.
Yeah. It's I know exactly what you mean though when you talk about seeing the boxes and this kind of thing. Like there's a real I mean you can see I've just got media everywhere. I like physical media. I like product. I like the boxes that the product comes in, and I've said before, for me picking up the product is where my experience starts with it. But certainly with video games now, like maybe not so much game boxes. I'm looking at some of the game boxes now, and they've got great covers and they've still got that thing on the back. But certainly for consoles and stuff now, the box is just there's just no excitement there. When you see like the new PS5 box, it's like it looks slick and it's it's white, and the new Xbox box is black, and there's no there doesn't feel like there's much thought put into the packaging anymore. It used to be this. I mean, the 90s was like a golden era for me for advertising. It's just everything was just big, loud, garish, wanting to grab your attention all the time. It's just, that was the 90s all over. But I do think that stuff, Ryan and his fucking magazines.
I mean, even in some of the boxes, the console boxes, you get like a leaflet, and they'll have like pictures of about 30 games that are available or will be coming out. So at least you can sit there, just go through the the booklets and manuals just to see what other games you can get. But, I think now is more, the boxes are more, I don't know, it's just more like presentation, just sleek and like they just go black, rather than like say loud and showcasing other stuff. Yeah, I mean, I love the boxes. I used to always just sit there and just look at the box. Magazines, I love it. Just look at the same, just one picture, the still. Just imagine playing the whole game from looking at that still. So I love. That's why I'm with the magazines. I like the ones with. I know it's the reverse of what I like now, but the pictures take up most of the page, and it's like one paragraph of writing. So we read it. I'll just be looking at all the screenshots. But now then you realize that content-wise, there's hardly anything there because they filled it up with just screenshots. And I used to love it. Just sit there and look at all the
one game box that always gets me is Mega Man 2, is it? And he's like,
oh yeah, it's like
nice.
Hasn't he got
I remember that one. Oh, that was horrible. That one.
It looks weird, isn't it?
The game, it's different.
Is that the one where he's on the cover with an actual handgun? He sort of just stood there like shooting an actual handgun rather than like the gun on his arm, like it's meant to be.
It's the one like this, the one game art box. I remember like seeing as my brother had it, just thinking that's not him.
I used to really like the really old school game boxes before like graphics were any good. So the front cover of the box was like nothing like
that one.
No, Mega Man 2, the other
that
one
there, the one next to it, Dobbs. You can see it just there. That
he's got like a human face.
Look at him, a handgun.
That's a ridiculous.
There's a worse one, wasn't there? One more.
Yeah,
like a live one, and it's horrible. I thought that's weird.
You see, like him front face on. It was the old ones. Like I used to have like BBC Micro, and the front covers for some of those games. Obviously, they look nothing like the game because the game was just like a few pixels on the screen, and the front cover would be like, I don't know, a picture of a tank or something, or like a spaceship, and then the game is just like a 3 squares meant to being a spaceship. I think when I always remember getting when I first picked up Street Fighter 2 on the Mega Drive, and it's that drive home when you picked up the game and you have the manual. I can just remember sitting in the car, flicking through the manual, and there's like little bios on each of the characters and stuff. And there's like a few moves, like the buttons for the moves are in there. And I'm just like studying this booklet all the way home. Yeah, that was always the best thing about the manuals. Just that. I don't know if I really looked at them much after that. It was mostly just like before I got a chance to play the game, I would just like if I couldn't play the game, I'd just be focused on the manual loads, and then as soon as I got a chance to play the game, I'd keep it in the box.
Talking about Street Fighter 2, what about that American art of it?
Is that for the original Street Fighter 2?
No, yeah. Where the American version had all that. The art was different, wasn't it? It was the American.
I don't know if I've seen that.
If you could bring it up, that would be great.
Look.
They just look so ugly. All the characters, it was horrible.
Oh, yeah. Weird. There's loads of versions of Street Fighter 2 though, isn't there? Like they just kept on bringing out Street Fighter 2 again. I always was really confused about it. It's like, when are we going to get Street Fighter 3? It was just like Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2. They're like the new challenges.
They still do it now, though, don't they? Because you got Street Fighter 3, then you got Double Impact, Third Strike, and then Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, and then they've done it with Street Fighter 5 as well now. Like Street Fighter 5 launched to not great prevail, and then they've done the same thing with Street Fighter 5 now.
Is that the one?
That's the good one.
That's the Japanese one, I think.
Yeah, you got to find out.
Oh, mate, the Japanese box art is so much better than what we get.
I'm looking for these. What is that?
I don't know if that's a official canon Street Fighter cover, Dorbs.
There you go. I don't even know what that one is.
What's that?
Oh my god,
no
I would
idea.
love that. I would love that if that was the new Street Fighter.
Get rid of that one quick. I'll see if I can find that. I'll have a look in the background.
So we've got Mr. Dean saying there's a lot of leveling out of the characters. That's why there are multiple versions. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of leveling out characters.
Right.
Okay. More, yeah.
Next, I've got a Pandora's Box 4, and it just had like pages and pages of Street Fighter 2, but a lot of them were like modded ones, I think, as well. And there's like Street Fighter 2 Rainbow Edition and things like that, and there'd be like a little bit of an after. There's absolutely loads of different versions. There's like I have no idea.
What was weird at the time in the arcades, I would go into like a kebab shop or fish and chip shop. They have this one standing arcade, and it'll be Street Fighter 2, but you wouldn't know what version it is. It'd be some crazy, like you say, like a Rainbow Edition, where you can do like they will freeze. For example, you do a somersault with a guy, and he'll be stuck in the position. And you have to like do a sonic boom just to get out of it. It's just all these weird additions, and every one had a different version. Like, what crazy ones are these?
that question there that Sebastian just put up about playing the original, just like Street Fighter. I'd always seen it, never played it until they did the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection on PS4 and the Switch, and I played the original Street Fighter on that, and it was hard. And there are some hard games, but that one is particularly hard.
In that, can you only play as Ryu and Ken? You can't play as anyone else, can you?
Yeah, I think it is literally just those. It might even just be Ryu. I don't know how many. I can't even remember how many characters there were. I remember playing it for about 20 minutes, not beating the first character, and thinking, I'm going to go on a Super Street Fighter 2 now, I think. Scary.
You're spoiled with Super Street Fighter, that's why.
Absolutely was. I mean, that is my favorite. Super Street Fighter 2. That is my favorite. As soon as they brought in Cammy and T-Hawk and those characters, Fei Long, that was it for me. That's my favorite.
I think Street Fighter 2 was really kind of like a bit of a turning point in games. I think in terms of like the quality of the game. And I think when I read a thing about when they're making it, their ambition was to make Street Fighter 2 so good that people didn't associate it to Street Fighter 1. And like we want to make Street Fighter look like a cheap knockoff of Street Fighter 2. Like we want Street Fighter to be like the pinnacle of like fighting games and like set a standard. And I think they pulled that off. I think Street Fighter 2 even now has set like a standard for fighting games. Isn't it? If you go back and play Street Fighter 2, you can still have a good fight on it. And I didn't realize at the time, if I go back on like emulators and stuff and play old fighting games, Street Fighter 2 still holds up well. There's loads of other games from around that time that you play them and think, oh, it's really slow. And some fighting games like the Mega Drive or PS1, like PS1 had loads of like 3D fighting games, and some of them were just really painfully slow. There's only a handful of them that still hold up well. I think like Tekken and Soul Calibur.
The amount of Street Fighter 2 rip-offs at the time though that came out. I mean, I think I must have played them all. There was like we had like World Heroes 2, Fighters History, Art of Fighting. What else was there? What's it called? Tough Enough or Dead Dance, the Japanese version. So all the clones and Turtles Tournament Fighters. I actually like that one. That was good.
Oh, dude, that is my favorite fighting game on the Super Nintendo.
I do really enjoy the SNK ones though. The Fatal Fury that then became like King of Fighters. That has like Andy Bogart and Terry Bogart in. I really like those ones.
How about Samurai Spirits or Samurai Showdown? Did you ever play that?
I did. That's all right. I prefer like Marvel versus Capcom and SNK versus Street Fighter, those sorts of ones. But Samurai Showdown's all right. You used to be able to. I don't know how you pull them off. Every now and then, like you'd end a fight with actually cutting someone's head off or something, when you would like end on like a brutal finish. But I don't know what actually caused that to happen. Just occasionally it would happen.
Fight's History isn't too bad. No, Fight's History was good. I enjoyed it.
Excellent. So last part on early gaming memories before we swiftly move you on. We're getting to this turning point now. So after Super Nintendo, we get Nintendo 64, but then we also get things like Sony PlayStation, Sega Saturn. We're starting to get into that CD-based era. So did you stick with Nintendo at that point, or did you then migrate to the PlayStation or anything like that?
Yeah, I did have an N64, and I think eventually I did get a GameCube, but my level of interest in gaming waned a bit. So I wasn't like Super Nintendo. I was on it, like I was playing as many games as I could. But when it got to N64, I made sure I wanted to get one, but I just didn't play as much. I was getting older. I was going into college, I believe. I think I got PlayStation as well. Like I got all PS1, PS2, 3, 4, 5. So I never I always stayed. I always bought the machines, but I wasn't. My enthusiast level was like low compared to what it was when I was younger, which I regret because now I'm getting back into it, and I wish I kept like a certain level. But I had to. My interest switched into, instead of buying games, I would be buying clothes now and using my money for that and going out as opposed to staying home and playing games. So
100%. That definitely does happen. I would completely agree with that, because even though I still would game, I would say a lot at college. I would like you. The interest was, I want to go out, I want to go to clubs, I want to get drunk. And then you'd wake up and normally for me, Sunday would be like a gaming day for me because I'd just be hungover to hell. So you just sit there and play video games thinking I should really do my college work, but you just sat there playing Silent Hill 2, like desperate to see how this is going to pan out. And then, I think that's definitely something that probably happened to all of us at some point. It's and then as you get older and you sort of have a little bit more disposable outgoing, and you can have some of that time back again. It's I think the kicker for me was always when you get to that point, you get rid of some of your stuff. And like I never anticipated I've finished that game, I'll just trade it in for something else and I'll get rid of it. I never thought to myself, but in 20 years I might want to play this game again. I should keep it really nice in a box. I just didn't do that. Like I kept all my Mega Drive stuff and most of my PS1, but for me PS2 was the era where I was like, I'll trade these in and get something else, because that was the only way I could really afford to buy new games at the time. And I'd trade in like 4 PS2 games for one new one. So many regrets, so many good games I got rid of. I was like, I'd really like to play that again.
With the Super NES, every game I did the same. I was just getting rid of them. I wasn't keeping the box nice and pristine. I was just getting crushed because they were just those cardboard boxes, weren't they? Trade them in. Now you think back, if only I would have kept every game that he had.
He'd be a millionaire.
Trying to buy them again when you're older.
Worth a fortune.
Yeah, This is it. I was quite lucky with some of the games. I mean, I'd normally get a game for Christmas and a game for my birthday, so I would normally get like 2 games a year. And then if I wanted anything else, I'd have to trade in certain games. So there'd be some ones that I would play and sort of get to the end of, and you know, like you guys are, right, I'm going to get rid of that. But then there were other games that I would keep, and my dad is a stickler for keeping things nice and in really nice condition. So all my original consoles have got their original boxes. All the boxes are nice. Any games that I have, all those boxes are still nice. So I'm really lucky in that. You know, my dad looked after my game collection purely because of his OCD of I like things to be nice, whereas I'm just wanting to get home and literally tear the cardboard open to get to the game quicker. But you'd never think, wouldn't you? Like you say, Tim,
No,
you know, 20 years later, that it's like, but it's not even the game that's the collectible bit; it's the box. You know, you can go and buy, like,
you know, because I had the NTSC one, right? So
yeah,
the cartridge will have that little plastic bit that you stick into the cartridge.
yeah.
So I'll just throw away the boxes and just keep the cartridge with the plastic bit and just line them all up.
Mad.
Yeah.
That is mad.
I just wanted the box.
Shit.
And I remember the power games. They didn't have that plastic bit, did they? You just had to put them in the plastic.
Yeah. And we never had end labels either. Like the NTSC games had the end label, so you could line them up like a book, and you'd still be able to see what games are on your shelf. Whereas the power ones, just line them up, it's just a wall of grey. Just never quite see what was on it, and it was that was one of the few things that I thought, that the NTSC ones are better with that. You can see what they are. Yeah.
I mean, I went to look at I went to try and look for my SNES, and I only found 2 games. One was stuck into a universal adapter because it was a power game. It was Street Fighter Alpha 2, and then I had another loose game. It was Super Air Diver. I don't know if any of you know that game. But the reason why I had it is because apparently it has a DSP chip. It's a game with DSP chip. So if I wanted to play any DSP chip games, I would need a DSP chip game to plug in, because the universal adapter, you put one in the top and one behind it.
Yeah.
Behind it. Yeah, I remember that.
I remember playing that game. This it's a horrible game. I hated the game, but I ended up just keeping it just in case I'll have to play like a foreign DSP game. But I think now recently I looked up which games have that chip. It's hardly any games. Like Pilot Wings, barely any games I would play that I had it. So I just kept it for no reason.
Amazing.
Could have sold it for a different game at the time. You know?
It's mad, isn't it? That you think back to that, because I've got an adapter for the Super Nintendo, but they both go sort of top to side. And I've got one for the N64, which is one on the top and one on the back. And you just think, like games now, it's just buy it from whichever country you want, stick it in the console, and off it goes. Right. So segueing on nicely to another topic that we always ask people that come on is, do you have a favorite game and a favorite console? And it doesn't have to be the favorite game. Doesn't have to be for the console.
Well, this question is a difficult one. I can never answer these questions. It's like when you say, "What's your favorite food? What's your favorite film?" I'm terrible at that. I don't have an answer, because for example, what's your favorite food? I don't know. It depends what I feel like on the day, right? What's your favorite film? I don't know. There's too many. I like too many. I just can't say this is my favorite. And I think that's the same with the games. I would choose based on what gives me the most happy, nostalgic feeling. Is my Super Nintendo days. So my favorite console is Super Nintendo, even though I do enjoy all the new gen ones like PS5. There's some great games on there, but just for that feeling, and I can't get that feeling back, is Super Nintendo. And also Street Fighter 2 has to be the game. I remember I got we got a Japanese version. I had to buy it. It cost £75 to get an import version of Street Fighter 2. And I had to buy the adapter as well, which cost, I think it was about £40. So it was over £100. And that's probably why I loved it so much, because I paid so much for it. Treasure it more.
Wow. Yeah.
I played that to death. But yeah, I would say the Street Fighter 2 series, so Street Fighter 2, Turbo and Super, and Super Nintendo. Just for
good choice.
Good choice.
Yeah.
That reason. Not because I enjoy playing the new gen consoles a lot more, but just that feeling I get when I think about it, when I talk about it. Yeah. And it's that time in my life. Yeah. It is a magical time. The 16-bit era, it is magical. I think anyone that's our sort of age that lived through that 16-bit era of gaming, it was
it was magical. I think you're absolutely right. There's something really special about that particular moment in gaming, and I don't think it'll ever happen again.
I think one of the big differences is the access we have to games. Because I think at that age, like we mentioned earlier, you could only really afford one console, and that was like, you know, you just pick one. You get a new game, like you get a game maybe for Christmas, you might get a game for your birthday, and then eventually you might be able to save up enough pocket money to buy one more game. So at best, you're getting 3 games in a year. So if you get a game that's just okay, you persevere with it. Cause you're like, you know what, I've only got a handful of games, so you dedicate a lot of time to those games. Whereas now you've got something like Games Pass, you could that if you're not fussed by a game within the first 20 minutes, you can just switch off and play another one. Whereas back then, if the first 20 minutes didn't grab your attention, you would just carry on. It's like, no, I really want to give this game a proper try, and you'd play it a lot longer. And sometimes you discover that actually you get a real love of a game because you've persevered with it. And you've got those really hard games, like Ollie, you often mention that Turtles game, which is an absolute bastard to complete. And I really like things like Battletoads. Like, I don't think someone today would have the patience for Battletoads because it's so hard. But if that's all you've got, you just got to keep going at it, and eventually you get a little bit further every time. And that part of gaming, I don't think you really get these days, do you?
No, I mean, I remember playing them to death because that is all you've got, right? And you could be bored of it. You turn it off. You sit around for a bit and think, oh, I'm going to turn it back on again and play again.
Yeah.
I had the game Top Gear. I don't know if you ever played it. It was on Super NES. I played that game to death, and it wasn't even the best game. I mean, I play it now. I'll probably complete the first course, and that's it. I'll turn it off. But then I'll play every level. I'll play again, you know, using Nitro, trying to beat my time. I do all sorts, just playing it to death. But now you just don't do that, is it?
Except my daughter has spotted something possibly in your room. Is there a Cuphead mug in the background, or is there something Cuphead related?
Just
there. You've got the TV show out Friday, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Cuphead Mugman right there.
Beautiful.
I got that for Christmas. My daughter's got that for me for Christmas, just because that's the game I played on GamesMaster.
Yes.
I don't know what to get you. They either get me a football or something to do with football, or games, and they got me Cuphead. So I thought, okay, that's great. I love it.
What football team do you support?
Oh.
Should I say Arsenal?
Right, moving swiftly on.
So if it's any consolation, I know absolutely nothing about football. Me and Tim had our first game of sensible soccer at Christmas.
Oh, really? Is that the first time you played it?
Yeah.
No, I played a bit because my brother was always into football, so we used to play sensible soccer and things like that occasionally. But yeah, I was more of a fighting game person than a football game.
Okay, Nintendo, playing sensible soccer for the first time now. Then, how did you find it?
It's good fun.
I don't think you should ask. Don't ask him.
Yeah, I was trying to face the score against
I enjoyed my match with Ollie. Should we say that? That was good.
No.
When me and Tim played, we had a fairly even match because we both don't follow football in any way, shape, or form. Like, I understand the offside rule and the very basics of football. I don't support a team and I don't follow it. But I have fond memories of playing Pro Evo in a shared house that I used to live in with my mates. So I enjoy the football games, but I don't sort of go out of my way to play them.
Yeah.
But yeah, sensible soccer was great fun. Like really, really good fun. Everything was really fun. For me, it's kind of how football should be in real life: fast paced, moving, kicking balls.
It's quite like straightforward, isn't it? There's not loads of like stuff to learn on it. It's quite easy to pick up.
Yeah. I mean, who's the sensible soccer pro here then? Is it Dobbs?
Ryan is not here.
Well, did you actually beat Dobbs? You beat Ryan though, didn't you?
No, I lost.
Ryan beat.
I thought you won overall. Did Ryan win overall?
I went 1-0 up and then just lost. But talking of that, I know I said earlier, Chris, we got Christian. Sorry, we got some spammers. We've got our first one. He's put this ridiculous comment. So what I'm going to have to do is I'll have to block them. I'll have to block them.
Rival team.
Yeah.
Just on sensible soccer, what I found with that game, didn't every team have like a few 2 or 3 star players, right? Is that what I remember? And with those players, you can kick that little bit harder and further, right?
Yeah, I always found World of Soccer, the star rate, didn't they? Like 3, 4s.
Oh, really?
I think it was.
I remember. I might play. Maybe it's the earlier version where you have like, say, I was Man United. You have like 3 star players. They'd be like Giggs and someone. But I always just remember scoring the same way with the same player. You just cross the halfway line. You find a diagonal, and you just shoot, and it would just
Always go
bounce just in front of the keeper and go in every time. I'm like, this is easy. Just get the star player on the ball and do the same thing. And you know, I found that with a lot of the football games. ISS on the SNES, the one that had the more isometric view, right?
Mm-hmm.
You find a way of scoring, and you could just score that way every time, and that's what I'll do. But yeah, it's weird. You just find a way in this.
I don't feel so bad now because I didn't realize that Ryan actually won every game that was played. So I guess that makes Ryan the best sensible soccer player, and there's no shame in being beaten by the best. So
there is when there's 8-0.
No, it was
Well, it's not like stroke players; it's match play. So a loss is a loss. So
not really. Right.
Our aim is to get Tim scoring on that game in every stream we can. That is our aim.
I see a comment. It says, I want to try Cuphead so bad, but I have seen my dad rage on it a lot.
Oh yeah,
it's notoriously difficult, right? I've never played it.
Yeah, that's Ollie. She's on about Ollie.
It's notoriously hard.
It is. I mean, I have completed it. I've not completed all the different modes or anything, but just on the standard version of Cuphead, just going through it normally, I've completed that, and I found it difficult. I did find it really difficult. Christ, I don't know, maybe 8 hours, maybe a touch over. There was a point where I actually took a break from it because I was stuck on the same boss over and over and over. So I didn't play it for a couple of weeks, and then came back to it. Yeah, it's really difficult because it's sometimes it's learning the pattern, but then the pattern of the boss changes, so they won't do the same thing in the same order each time, and you're like, Christ! So I need to learn each pattern so that when the pattern starts, I'm like, right, that pattern, and really difficult. Yeah, good fun though. Really good fun once you sort of, and that there's nothing quite that elation of beating that boss. It's like
that's the fun, because dying over and over is not fun. I'm telling you that.
I would agree. Right, before we move on to our next topic, first appearance on GamesMaster, is now the time to play. Chris?
No, if we discuss both appearances.
Okay.
And then I'll play it, and then we got a little vote. We'll have a little viewers vote.
Okay.
And there is a reason behind this, yeah.
Okay. So next topic, first appearance on GamesMaster. What for people that don't know, which season and which episode were you in on GamesMaster?
It was many moons ago. It was season 4, episode 6.
Yep.
Series 4, episode 6. It was aired in 1994. Playing Donkey Kong Country, not Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Country.
That's probably going to be on the outtakes. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And for people watching, what was your challenge?
Oh, it's a Donkey Kong Country I played, because in the episode it was a Donkey Kong special episode, so they played Donkey Kong and played Donkey Kong Country at the end, which is the one I played.
Yeah.
So had you actually got to play it beforehand? Because they said on the show like it was the first time anyone really
we
got
got a little practice. They let us practice for a bit, but they only gave us about 5 minutes each. But we didn't take 5 minutes because we just had a few goes because they were rushing us about. I remember with the 2 other challengers, we went into the room to practice. But whilst you're practicing, the other 2 are just standing there watching you. So you can kind of like, you feel a bit awkward. So you just play a bit just to get used to the feel of the jumping and things like that. And hey, you have a go. And then you can watch them play. I prefer to watch them play than me play, because I guess it's just like a standard platformer. So it's just running, jumping. So I'd rather watch them play. But then as soon as I had my little goal, they'll be like, oh, Christian, can we come in for makeup? And they just go into the makeup room and get powdered up and that. So didn't get to play much on that one. But yeah, we did get a little practice. All 3 of us got a little practice beforehand.
I'll put him off. Like this for his ear going, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, loser.
Loser.
No, we were very polite and friendly to each other. There was none of that banter back then. It was just all friendly.
I did watch it the other day. to watch it back. I did feel bad for the guy that goes on after you, because you can see like you would establish the first guy didn't goes through like the tunnel, doesn't he? And you jump over it, which is a quicker path. And that had been established on his turn. He clearly didn't mean to go through there. He goes to jump over it and he runs through it instead. And he just goes, because he knows at that point he's lost. He's like, yeah, because like now you've done, you're not going to be able to beat the time. So I think at that point, did you know then that I've won it now?
Oh yeah, because we didn't in practice we didn't know which way is quicker, right? We were just playing, and I think one of them, when I was watching them, they did go through, but we didn't have like a phone or a stopwatch to time it, so we didn't know which was quicker. We just just playing. So when we did the challenge, and it was one take, there wasn't no reruns. So Tim, he went first, and he went through the bonus, and then it's my turn. I thought, there's no point in me going through the bonus as well, so I won't go through the bonus, and I just went at the top, and it just turned out that it was a lot quicker. And then that's when the last guy, Sharif, he had the advantage of going last. Now he's seen both ways, like you said, Triangle Face. He could pick which way he could go the top way, but then he went through the bonus, and when he did that, I was like, yes. I looked at my mate. But I would stand there, just like no emotion, but inside.
Yeah, because from that challenge, you got the thing that pretty much everyone our age who's into gaming was just desperate for. You've got to bring it out. What did you get from that appearance on your first time on GamesMaster?
I've got this. Oh, it's really heavy though, by the way, guys. Solid gold here.
Listen, we've got to stick it. Got to stick it on solo screen, Mr. Dorber.
Well, I'm trying to, but my Chrome is actually frozen, so I can't do anything, even though it's still live.
This one's really
so I might have to quit and come back.
Right, this is where we need.
I think I've got buttons. I can do that. Hang on.
That's me.
No, how do I do? Oh,
I don't have a GamesMaster golden joystick to show.
Look
at it.
That is amazing.
Look at it.
Fantastic.
I polish it every day, lads. Yeah.
That's the OG one. Look at
That is delightful. Amazing.
Really heavy.
And that is literally the one thing that I think everyone our age who watched GamesMaster was just in awe of to have those. I mean, that's a really cool thing to have. That is for me, and I think for a lot of gamers, certainly British gamers anyway, that is a piece of history.
At the time,
intro, whatever,
I mean, at the time, I mean, I cherish it a lot more now than at the time. But it's funny because after the show, it didn't air for about 4 months. I think around 4-5 months after me winning it, going home with it, and it airing. So I was going to school every day and like telling my mates that, I was on GamesMaster, I won the joystick. Because we didn't have to sign an NDA or anything like that back then. So I was just telling everyone, I was on GamesMaster, and no one believed me.
Yeah.
Really old, itchy chin. So that, bring it in then. And I was like, do I want to bring it in or not? But if I don't, that they wouldn't believe me. They bring it in, or you weren't on it. How were you on it? You weren't on it. No one believed me. So I brought it in, but I didn't bring it in with the case. I brought in just the joystick. So risking it in my school bag, risking scratches and all sorts of things. Just solid gold thing there. And I'll be like opening my bags, it's like, whoop, have a look, because I'm not letting you touch it. They go, let me touch it, and nope. I'll be like,
definitely not.
No.
Get out of it.
Like, that's not it. That's fake. That's fake. Like, there's no pleasing these kids,
Yeah.
But yeah.
You must have been able to
make a big deal about it though, at the time.
After that episode aired, though, you must have been able to walk into school like Conor McGregor, like, yes, that's how it's done.
Well, if I knew that move at the time, I would have been doing that. No, what I did was on the day it aired, I would go into school, and the first bit is going into tutor group, and I would just go in and just sit down, say nothing, and just see if anyone says anything. And my group, they were kind of like, no one was happy for me. They're just like, saw you last night. Like, saw you on GamesMaster last night. It was just like that. I said, yeah. Yeah. That's what it was. I thought, all right, okay. But yeah,
mega
it was
jealous.
good.
That's what it was.
Everyone was like, "Yeah, he was on TV last night." I said, "Yeah,
I told you.
So how did that process kind of come around of getting like to be on GamesMaster?
Yeah, I'm saying I didn't watch the first couple seasons of GamesMaster. I wasn't, because of the time it was on, and in my family we would eat dinner together, and then that means my parents have control of the TV, so they watch what they watch. So I never get to watch GamesMaster. I didn't really get into it. I saw bits of Series 3, and then I was buying the computer magazines a lot, and then I saw an advert in there to be on GamesMaster. It's either GamesMaster or Games World, so I applied. Everything was done via, writing, sending letters back then, so you just have to wait. There's no quick response, and then I finally got a phone call saying to come for an audition. I thought, okay. I just remember when I got to the auditions, it was a room with loads of TV screens just set up, TV screen, and they just had Mortal Kombat on all of them, and it's like a ring of TVs. So I'll get there and I'll see all these kids either hanging about or playing, and I thought, wow, this is quite cool, because I've never seen something like this before. And they'd be like, oh, just go sit down and go sit down by one of the TVs and just start playing. And Mortal Kombat wasn't my game. I was a Street Fighter 2, so I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I knew some moves, so I picked Liu Kang. I was doing his his darting kick. I just did it over and over again. And I was thinking, so how does this work? No one's around. I'm just playing by myself. What am I doing? So I'm just playing for a bit. Then I see an adult, probably one of the producers, walking around with a clipboard. I was just like watching kids and then moving to the next screen. So I thought, okay, I'll wait. And then when they got near me, it's my turn. I start pulling out all the moves. And then they watched for a bit. Then they walked on. I thought, oh, okay, that's it. Didn't say anything. They just had a look. Probably jotted something down and just walked on. I thought, okay. And that's it. And then they said, all right, thanks everyone. Thanks for turning up, and we'll be in touch. And that was it. Went home and I didn't know, okay, what happens now? I don't know. Just had a fun day of playing Mortal Kombat for a bit. Mm-hmm. I went home, and then I can't remember how long it was. It was quite long ago, but then they rang me up and said they'd like me to be on the show. So that was good.
Yeah.
Happy about that.
Excellent. Yeah, I think loads of people are. There's 2 Dorbs. What's going on here?
What are the 2 Dorbs?
I'm back in. Let me remove root. So there's a couple issues there. I do apologise.
That was you should have just left that there, mate. You could have been.
Left it there.
It's like
you don't want to see 2 of me. Trust me. You don't want to see.
It's like when we played Among Us the other night. It's like, oh crap, there's 2 Dorbs now. All of a sudden, he's disguised as Dorbs. Amazing. Yeah, no, I mean, because that's the one thing I think that everyone our age wanted to do. Everyone our age, I think, wanted to be on GamesMaster. So you've lived the dream. You've lived the dream.
I've lived the dream. Got the abuse for it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
No, respect. Got the respect and admiration.
And that segues us nicely onto second appearance on GamesMaster. So we had the new GamesMaster Revival, which was 3 episodes? 3 or 4?
Yeah, 3 episodes.
3 episodes. And we all sort of unanimously agree as a group that it was a very good show. It was we thought it was a good success. We thought they did the right amount of nostalgia with the right amount of new. It felt like GamesMaster. It didn't feel like it just took the name. It felt fantastic. So we were really pleased that the show was really good, which is always a good start. But appearing on GamesMaster a second time, how did that come about? Because the digital age is so different. I'm presuming you didn't have to write a letter this time.
Well, after my first appearance, just a bit later on when I'm a bit older, I'll be always telling people about it, because I want to share my my story, but no one's really interested. I say, oh really? And that was it. So I'll be itching to tell people, right? And then I've told so many people, they're probably sick of me telling them, right? And then that's it. I put a lid on that and left it for a while. And then I didn't keep up with. I wasn't in any circles about a reboot or anything like that. Then a mate of mine messaged me and goes, "Oh, you were on GamesMaster, weren't you?" I said, "Yeah." So he sent me a link, and it was an article saying there'll be a reboot, and they're looking for people, things like that. And he said, "Oh, you should go on it." I said, "Me? I'm too old to go on it now. All right, it's just kids." They go, "No, but you could go on as like a previous winner." I was like, "Nah, that boat's gone. I don't even play games that much anymore. I won't be any good." And that was the end of it. And then I'll go sleep that night, and it'll just be on my mind, thinking, "Should I? No, I'm not gonna." Then I close my eyes, go to sleep. Then wake up. Maybe I should. No. So that went on for like hours, playing in my head over and over. And then the next day I thought, you know what? Nothing to lose. I'll just send an email. So I think I found I typed in GamesMaster auditions, because that was just an article about telling you about the reboot. So I had to search, and I found an article. This was in September, and I found an article. It was dated July, and it said looking for rebooting a legacy famous game show. They didn't say GamesMaster. I thought, oh, this must be GamesMaster. That's the way they worded it, right? And then I thought, okay, let me just email them. And I mentioned I was on it before. I just gave a load of story, selling myself basically. Yeah. And I thought, okay, I'll send that email and just hope for the best. And if I hear nothing, I hear nothing, And then within like a day, the next day, I got a response, and I thought, oh no, this is actually happening now. I've actually got a response. I thought, send that email out and think nothing else of it. There's a one shot, but then I got a response of, oh damn, this is actually real now. I've started sweating. Like, what do I do? How do I respond to this? So I sent it to my friend. I said, what do I say? He goes, what do you mean? What do you say? Just reply. I said, yeah, I'll come on.
Yes, please.
I'm like, I don't know what to say. But then I responded. And then next thing he said, can I call you? I thought, oh my God, this really is, it's going quicker than I thought. I wasn't ready for this. He's like, can I call you? So then one of the producers called me, and we had a chat. I told him about all my previous experience, and went from there.
Fantastic. Amazing. And the setup on that is they have your original golden joystick, don't they? And you've got an opportunity to win a second one. And the deal was I'm gonna have to ask, was that genuinely a deal? If you lost that challenge, were they going to smash your golden joystick?
Well, let me give you the
dreadful when I say it.
The build up to it. So when I sent the initial email, the producer, he said, "Can I call you, or can I?" It was basically a Zoom chat. And then we were discussing. He's asking me questions like, do you play games? I said, yeah, of course, every day. Obviously I didn't, but I would say anything that I thought he wanted to hear. And he'd be like, do you have the original golden joystick? I said, yeah, I want it, because he probably thought I was lying, right? He said, can I see it? So I'll, bring it out, show him. Then he'd be like, oh, that's interesting. And I said, why is that? And he's like, because we're thinking of some, angles that we can get you on to do. Like maybe you can do like a double or nothing. You can put that on the line, and if you win, you win 2. If you lose it. And I was like, inside I was like, oh shoot, no. And I was like, yeah, of course, let's do it. I was like, let's do it, love it. That's a great idea. But yeah, I'm down for anything. I'm confident, so yeah, let's do it. But yeah, there's nothing about so he did mention it earlier on. But he goes, that's that probably won't happen, but just to see if you're up for it, just to see what angles we can do. Or maybe we could do original challenge again, do Donkey Kong Country again, things like that. I said, yeah, anything you want. I'm up for anything. I think like a few days later, he got back to me. We did a proper interview. I had to like speak into the camera because he wanted to show like the bosses upstairs. And then he mentioned it again. And like, we mentioned about the double or nothing. Would that still be okay with you? And I was like, yeah, of course. No problem. He goes, okay. We might not do it, but just to see if you're happy with it. I said, yeah, anything. I'm up for anything. Then going through all that, coming to the actual recording, they kept asking me, did you bring your joystick with you? I said, yeah, because they kept making sure, can you bring your joystick? I said, yeah, I'm bringing it. And so on the way, they kept saying, have you got your joystick? I said, yes, I've got it. When I arrived, they're like, do you have your joystick? Yes. Can we see it? Okay. open the bag and the shy. And then they were okay. We'll be back. So they had like a table full of all the producers, the big producers, and they're discussing. They come up to me and goes, so we're gonna go ahead with the double or nothing. I thought, okay. I already kind of expected it, right? They kind of warned me. So yeah, they go, but we're gonna smash it if we lose it. And I thought, okay. Yeah, I said that's they did mention it before when they said double or nothing or possibly smash it, and I at the time I was just like, yeah, whatever, happy. So then on the day they actually like confirmed it, said we're gonna smash it if you lose.
Oh my
I said,
God.
no, because I was thinking, I've had that for 27 years now, and what he said to me was, if you lose, we will smash it, but then we'll probably give you, one of our new ones to compensate. But,
Probably.
But if you lose it on screen, you've lost it, right? And we're going to smash it. If you win, you get 2. But then if you do lose, we'll give you a replacement one. And I thought, oh, thank you. And then as he walked off, I thought, oh, it's not the same, is it? Because I wanted to ask him, is it the same one? Is it the exact same one? And they was like, yeah, it's the same one. We contacted the company. It's the same joystick. And then only to find out later, it's not the same one. So imagine I did lose. And he gave me the replacement. It's completely different. Well, not completely different, but it's a lot different, right? I would have been crying. But yeah, part of me was for 27 years I've had that. Do I go with it? But it's too late now. I'm there. We've got to do it now.
Yeah.
I think they were willing to replace it, but they wanted to use the original one to smash rather than just have because they could have just got out another one, couldn't they, and claimed it was your original one and gone to smash that, but they actually had the original one.
The ones they had are different.
They were different, yeah.
Yeah, they were different. I mean, I've got it there. I can show you. Shall I show you?
Yeah, do it, because that's
big screen.
That's the happy end to the story, is it?
Oh yeah, sorry.
It did.
Wow, look at that! Beautiful.
Second golden joystick.
We've got both of them.
Yeah.
There you go. This is an intro. This is an intro shot.
Yeah, Ryan, get your editing skills on this.
You know how heavy this is? Holding two.
Been to the gym today?
Only person in the world to have 2 golden joysticks. Look at it.
They are beautiful, lush.
I can't believe they were going to smash it up.
Oh, can you see they're a bit different? One's got a logo on it.
Yeah.
See that GamesMaster logo on it.
Oh yeah.
It's got like a
they were going to smash this
one as well.
And give me this one as a replacement.
When did you find out what game it was, though? When did they say to you, right, we're going to put you on like one of the most and not hardest games? Cuphead. They wanted you.
So this is how it was. Whilst I was talking to the producer, he kept asking me what kind of games I'll be comfortable playing. And I didn't want to limit myself, right? So I was like, I'll play any game, any type of game, platform, sports, puzzle, beat 'em ups. I'm good at any game. I'm good at all games. Really, obviously not. I have a preference, but I didn't want to just box myself in. I wanted to be as open as possible. And okay, that's good to know. And then he'll email me back saying, "Can you list the games that you would play?" I'm like, bloody hell, I've left it open for you guys to pick, and you want me? Okay, so I named every category, and I gave about 5-6 games of each. For example, platformers. I was trying to think of new games. So PS5, I was like Ratchet and Clank. I was just naming games. But what I wasn't aware of is about clearances, whether they're allowed to play the game or not. And I didn't think of it. So I was naming all these new PS5 games. I said, yeah, I'll play this. This is similar to my Donkey Kong Country Challenge. I can play this. But in the end, I think it's about 4 or 5 days before filming, they said we were thinking of a game called Cuphead. I was like, what's Cuphead? I think I've heard of it. I've seen it on the Nintendo Switch store, but I've never played it before. Right? And he goes, okay, so we're thinking Cuphead. We'll confirm it later, but go have a little research on Cuphead. So I looked at it, I thought, Cuphead? Why Cuphead? And I said, this looks really old. Why would they pick this game? And I researched, but oh no, it's not that old. It's quite new. And then I watched videos. I thought, oh, it's like a run and gun fighting bosses kind of game. I thought, oh, I see why they picked this game. I thought, but why Cuphead? But anyway, whatever. And then they called me back and they said, okay, we're going to go with Cuphead, but we don't know what you'll be doing yet. So just play the game, get familiar with it. So then I'll think, okay, I don't have the game. this is like 4 days before recording. I said I'll buy the game and just try it out. And obviously the first level is a run and gun. And I thought, this is similar to my Donkey Kong challenge. This is going to be it. This is the challenge. I tried to preempt what the challenge was. And I thought, okay, I'll play this game. And the first few times I kept dying. I thought, bloody hell, this game is harder than I thought, right? So I was playing that level and I thought, this is the level. So I kept playing it, trying to get faster, completing it. I thought, let's do time trial because that's what they're going to do. That's what my other challenge was, do the same thing. And I was playing it. And obviously I thought, oh, okay, I'm a bit bored of playing the same level over and over again. I'm good enough now. Let me just progress along the game. And I realized all the other levels are bosses. I thought, oh, it's not just running and gunning. It's just boss levels. I thought, okay, play it. It was bloody hard. I was like, I hate this game. What is this game? Every level, I was like, oh my goodness, I spent like 20 minutes trying to beat, dying over and over again. I thought, this is horrible. But anyway, I played. And then I think it's like 2 days before recording, he's like, right, we're still not sure which level to give you yet. And we're not going to give you. And I said, oh, how about I could do the first level? Because I seen him. He goes, no, can't do the first level. I'm practicing that level. Oh, no. I go, what about the next one? He goes, no, we're not doing any of the first few levels because it looks like we haven't, you just picked up the game and just played the first level. It looks a bit lazy on their part. And obviously, to progress, get the other levels, you have to beat the first few levels to open up the path more to move on, right? And I was like, so I had to play the game. So frustrating, just play. And obviously I didn't know what level. And then we finally confirmed the night, like Saturday. So I filmed on the Monday, and on the Saturday night he told me we'll be doing this level, which was Ribby and Croaks level. Yep. I was like, Saturday night I can't play. Then the next day I had work, so I couldn't even practice that level. So Sunday I had to go to work, and all in my mind I was thinking, I want to get home so I could practice because obviously I got film the next day. So I went home and just had trouble. I was playing on the Switch. I was using the little Joy-Cons, and it was like really bad on my hands. And then I forgot to say, they told me when I bought it on the Switch, they asked me, you're going to be playing it on the PC, so it'd be with a PS5 pad. And I thought, oh my God, I just paid 18 quid to buy the game on the Switch. I knew I would have bought it on the PC or whatever. But so on that Sunday, I had to run out and get like a USB Bluetooth thing so I can play my PS5 pad on it. And I've just practiced that night, which the night before. I put a good solid 2-3 hours in just playing that level. And I was keeping a little tally chart as well. Like every time I play it, imagine I'm filming now. This is the challenge. Sit down, play. If I die, that's a die. If I win. So I kept marking, and I was about 30% win rate. So I was like, this is not good enough. But hopefully when I get there, they'll let me practice because they did tell me I could play the game for a bit when I get there. So I just relied on that because it was getting really late. I was tired. I didn't want to go to recording tired. So I thought, I'm just going to sleep, get my beauty sleep, rest up so I could focus. And that's it. When I got to the day, I got to practice a bit more. But yeah, that's when it was basically 2 days. One day I'll say to play that level because I didn't even play that level. I was struggling on. Only you played it, right? There's the aeroplane one, right? That one was just a nightmare. That was really peeing me off so bad, that one. So I was lucky it wasn't that one. They picked the other one. I thought that's good.
Yeah. There are some bosses on that game that are a little bit more forgiving in that there's either more room on the screen to kind of move around in, or the type of projectile that they throw at you is much easier to dodge or kind of get behind or do the parry off of. But the frog one I found was probably one of the more challenging ones because their pattern was, I guess, because each boss has a level, then it says like part 1, part 2, and then the final stage. And the frog one for me, there was no. Again, each boss has like a variation sometimes of what they'll do, so it never follows the same order. And because the frog one is quite specific in terms of the things that it throws at you, if it's not in a particular order, my brain just couldn't crack it. I'd just be like, oh Christ. So I'd almost wait for a pattern that I could recognize for that particular
with that level, with that boss, once you pass first phase, second phase, the fans, then you get to the jukebox bit where you parry the lever. Then it'll be like there's 3 different enemies it could be. So it'll be random, right? So then I was just lucky that when on the actual challenge I did, I got the same one twice, which was just the moving platforms, which is jumping on it and getting the timing just to land and jump. So I was glad I got those two. I mean, I would say that's the second. That was the middle difficulty. If there were 3 of them, there was an easy one, which I don't know if you remember. It's just the flames up and down. That's the easiest one. Then you got the moving platforms, which is the one I did. Then you got the bouncing balls that you just jump in between.
Yeah,
that's most difficult. But yeah, so I'm glad I got the moving platforms twice.
But it pushed you into legendary status because I mean, I must admit, even when that challenge was on, it was like I was watching that episode of Game of Thrones, the Battle of the Bastards. I was sat on the edge of my seat, like, is it?
I was nervous.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You know what was difficult as well with that challenge? They had this lovely screen, right? It's a massive screen that you sit and play on. But the seat they put for you to sit is right up against the screen. So when you sit down, the screen's just in your face like this.
Yeah.
And it's so big. For me to look across, I'm moving my head like this to look from left to right, rather than just your eyes.
They got neck ache after.
I was trying to nudge the seat back, but it was like, I think it was bolted to the floor. I was like, oh, for God's sake. I said, this is so close. I was just leaning back on the seat like this to get as far as I can see like an overall picture.
Yeah.
Because to keep moving your head when you're trying to look, it's difficult, and that's what made it hard. I thought, and I was so nervous as well. So just before I played, I was standing outside, and it was like below 10 degrees. I just had this shirt on. It's freezing cold. I was out there for 10 minutes before they introduced me, and I came on. So I was standing out there for a good 10 minutes. And when I got in, my fingers were just numb. So by the time I sat down, I'm holding the pad. I was holding the pad, but I couldn't feel my fingers. I'm like, I can't press the buttons. Like, what am I going to do? I'm just sitting there. So whilst they were talking and setting up, I was like, and put my hands under my legs and like warming them up. And I was feeling. I couldn't feel it. I think, what am I going to do? And 1, I had the problem with I was too close to the screen. 2, my fingers, I couldn't feel them. I was like, everything's against me now. And I'm so nervous. My heart's just boop, 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 boop. Oh, crazy. Only because I knew what was at stake, right? So my joystick smashed.
That's it. And I think that's why we're
amazing.
all
So amazing.
But the winning of that challenge put you into the category of the only double golden joystick winner in the world.
Amazing.
I mean, yes. You have to say that with cross-generation, because some celebrities did win in the previous GamesMaster twice, but then they are celebrities. I don't know if that counts.
No.
They're getting easier ride, mate.
Doesn't count.
Old games are easy. Fact.
Yes, then I'm there. Great.
You are indeed.
And then if someone disagrees, just comment in there, get more interactions to the video.
We won't put them on screen. It's all right.
We will always put people right.
Obviously, two games masters. So Patrick Moore, so Trevor McDonald. But we've actually got a little surprise for you here. We've been speaking to the real games master, and he's recorded you a little message.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome, Christian, to the Retro Gaming Revival Realm! Double golden joystick winner! That's a lot of hand action! Naughty! Don't mention Tim's tight top! Have an amazing show!
What? That's the real...
Is that Ali, was it?
That is Ali.
Ali, 16 bits and bobs.
Who, coincidentally, it's his birthday today. So I was hoping he'd be in the comments, but he's not. So happy birthday to Ali.
Happy birthday, Ali.
Going all retro style. I've been sent a little birthday card. I know I can go in live or at someone's birthday, like their friends, whatever, sent a card, and so
let's put you full screen, Jobs. 2 secs. Let's switch you up.
So we've got a little card for Ali there.
44.
So 44, yeah. So happy birthday, Ali, and I hope you've had a wonderful day. And thank you for that video. That is beauty, cracking video. So yeah, I'm glad you've heard of Ali, because he 16 bits and bobs on Twitter.
Yeah,
he is amazing. He's got a YouTube channel, amazing. So I'm glad you've heard of him.
No, I watched the last interview you did with him.
Oh, of course you did. Yeah. Yeah.
He does a fantastic little GamesMaster series, which we've done something with him. So hopefully there's going to be a really cool. The next one might be really, really fun. So we're really looking forward to seeing that one.
Yes.
So
not my video.
One thing when I recorded, I don't know if you remember, in the new GamesMaster, where the GamesMaster is the abyss, which is down where all the flames are, and I appear. And it was weird because the questions they asked me when I filmed in the green screen were completely different from what that Sir Trevor actually said, right? So I felt the answers to the questions didn't match. But one thing I said, which I wanted to be on, but they cut it out, in line of what Dominic Diamond used to say, was GamesMaster asked me, so what are you doing here? And I said, I don't know. I was just sitting here polishing my golden joystick, and next thing you know, I'm here. So you tell me. But they cut it out. Polishing my joystick joke, they didn't want to keep in, you know?
Phil.
Dominic Diamondism, man.
Yeah, it's a classic Diamond.
That's so good.
I fought all night for that one. didn't keep it in.
That's Phil.
So this will segue us nicely onto our last segment for you this evening, which I'm hoping Dorbs has given you some pre-warning for, and that is our new recurring feature, which is Waller's Remasters. This all stemmed from our stream with Rick Waller, where he came up with 3 games that he thought needed to be remastered or remade. They were all very strange that I'd never heard of before, and we all had to go and do a bit of research on them after. It was just this bizarre feature that we thought this is going to be a thing. So ever since then, everyone we ask, you need to come up with some games that you would like to see either remade, remastered for a new generation.
Okay. I've only got one, right? I'll throw in another name after, but I'm going to stick with the Super Nintendo era. I really enjoyed this game. I loved it. I loved the music, the soundtrack, everything. See if you can guess it. I'm just going to do the first level. It goes, and the music goes. It goes, the stage is set. The green flag drops. Do you know it?
That rings bell. I recognise that.
I mean,
I never read a SNES.
It sounds like Black Sabbath.
Recognise that.
It sounds like Black Sabbath.
Yes,
it does.
It sounds like Paranoid.
It is.
Green flag is dropped. The stage is set.
The stage is set. The green flag drops.
Oh my god!
You got the tunes, though. I must say.
Is it Daytona 500? Daytona 500?
No, it's not on the SNES.
No Googling, Dorbs.
What?
Yeah.
Joking. You can Google. You're all right. I have no idea. It's ringing a bell, but it's just not.
It's a racing game.
Not that one with the unicycles, is it?
Not Uniracing.
It's not Uniracing,
by the way.
Is it? It's not the
depending on which version you had. Yeah.
It's not the racing game that came out Streetcar.
Ryan's got it.
Ryan's got
it. Rock and Roll Racing.
Rock and Roll Racing.
Rock and Roll Racing. That's first level. The square track. Yeah. Oh, love that game. Oh, guys, come on. He's not even here. He's pulled a sickie and he's still got it right, huh?
Yeah. Well, he's on Google. He's good cheating. He's on Google.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Big Boy Barry's best game.
Yeah, I would like to see that jazzed up, but keeping the same, maybe keep the same perspective, because that's how you remember playing it, right? That kind of like isometric perspective. But maybe have different worlds. Obviously, you have the main theme, which is all the rock, but have different worlds. That if you're going to go to worlds, you maybe got like different types of music, different genres of music, because they do go from planet to planet, right? I don't know if you guys remember. And so when you go to different planet, you got maybe a pop planet, a dubstep, a drill planet, possibly. I don't know. You know, different types of music, and yeah, I would like to see that redone. But
that'd be cool.
Keeping the essence of how it was played.
Do you know, you could really do that well as well with the, you know, because there's a big revival of, you know, sort of old inspired type retro games, but sort of done sort of more modern. So that, I mean, that would be great, because I don't think there is a racing game that has that sort of isometric view at the minute. Shocking behaviour, Ryan. Shocking behaviour. I think it was Dean that said earlier as well. He said this is going to fall apart without Ryan. I think we've held it together all right.
Yeah.
Another SNES game I enjoyed, which is similar, was Biker Mice from Mars.
Classic.
Have you seen how expensive that game is recently?
No. How expensive is that?
Let me see if I can find a copy.
So I never played the game, but I can remember I used to watching the cartoon. There was a cartoon of it, wasn't there? What came first? Was the game based on the cartoon, or was the cartoon based on the game?
100%. Yeah, the cartoon came first.
Based on the cartoon, yeah. Definitely.
So you mentioned this earlier. Not a lot of people know this, but you've been on Games World.
Yeah.
And we have a comment
is that Mean Machine Dean
friends of the show? Yeah. He's made an allegation, and do you want to make a comment on the allegation that he's made?
I do have a Games World jacket, by the way, but it's at the dry cleaners at the moment. So
that's all right.
I went to collect it today. It's just too late, and it closed. He said tomorrow, but what could I do?
He's actually he's up for a challenge.
Games World versus GamesMaster challenge.
That sounds interesting, because he does Twitch, so
he's
link up on Twitch.
He's everyday training, huh?
Yeah. Not uncovered.
Awesome.
And I don't know about this comment here.
I see another comment from Dean.
It's extensive.
I don't know what that's on about.
You got some great games, Dorbs, that you've been pulling out.
Britney's Dance Beat, Mr. Bean.
Yeah, Mr. Bean.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I was about to say Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah, I was on Games World. I won my eliminator, which was Monday. Unfortunately, there's no footage on YouTube either. So
there we go. A boxed copy recently sold on.
Wow, $230.
Yep. It's not.
Was that you that bought that there, Ollie?
I wish. That was one of those games that I had because I really liked Biker Mice from Mars. So I got it for Christmas one year, played it a lot, thought it was fun, got rid of it for something else. And you just think, bugger. Like,
who was your character when you played the game?
It was always Vinny. That Vinny was cool.
Vinny. He was quick. He's the one that does wheelies, right?
Yeah, he was cool. He was like the Raphael of the group. He just had so much attitude all the time.
My character was Limburger. I don't know if you remember.
Okay, yeah.
He was the best character to be in the game. I mean, I reckon. It made the game too easy. He was a bit,
I could never, even in any game I played, if I had a favorite character from the show, I would, regardless if they were the worst character, I would always play as that character in the game and just persevere. I'm just a stickler.
Give yourself a challenge.
Stickler for favorites.
So
which videos did you play?
Yeah, which videos?
Okay, this is where I don't want to mention because we've got a Mean Machine Dean in there, but on Beat the Elite on Cash Dash, I didn't win, so I didn't officially play the videos, but I did play them backstage. Big Boy Barry, Raggedy. That's all I remember. I remember beating all of them. So, if Big Boy Barry, you're watching, or Alex, you know.
Yeah. So on that Cash Dash, is that when you had your freezing cold hands as well?
Unfortunately, I tell you what, this is where the excuses come, right? I was a joypad player, right? Never play with a joystick. And how they give it to you, you have to put it on your lap and just wiggle the joystick, and it's like there's no stability. That's my excuse. And the guy who I was playing against, he wasn't a console player, he was an Amiga player, so he was used to joysticks and all sorts. So that's my excuse.
Good. I like that.
But I tell you what, when we were training, when we was in the green room playing the games, we was playing all the games that we possibly would play. Big Boy Barry just said, his words of encouragement was, "I hope you do not win." Because if I get through and I play them, they're all going to lose their challenge. That's what it was.
Fantastic. I hope you don't win, Cash Dash.
Yeah, he said, "I hope you lose because I don't want to play you because I beat him at Street Fighter. I beat Raggedy at Street Fighter."
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
So he got his wish.
Yeah, he got his wish.
Love it.
I I didn't get to meet Alex in the new GamesMaster because he came to film on either day 2 or day 3, and I was in day 1, so we missed each other. And I would have reminded him of that, but didn't get to meet him, unfortunately.
Awesome.
But yeah, good memories.
Yeah, amazing.
Excellent.
Yeah, I used to because I love Street Fighter so much. Sorry, Ollie. Just quickly, I used to think that I was like Ryu. I called him Ryu at the time, but obviously it's Ryu now, isn't it? But I used to think I was like Ryu, just on my own, wandering around, going off playing Street Fighter challenges. And I remember going to the Games World recording, and it was in like Tower Bridge, near Tower Bridge, and I would get to Elephant and Castle. Don't know if you guys know the walk from Elephant Castle to Tower Bridge is a good 20-minute walk. But in my mind, I was just thinking, backpack over the shoulder, Ryu just walking barefoot. And then when I won the jacket, it's just walk back home. That's how I picture myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I always thought I was like a Ryu through life. That's how no community, just me going from town to town.
Beating everyone at Street Fighter as you get there.
Yeah, that's right. Not so good now, but back in the day, yeah.
Beautiful. Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a really good fun one to chat to. And as soon as we saw you on GamesMaster, I think one of the first things we said in the group chat was, we've got to get this guy on at some point. And it was just trying to make it work and find times to get it to work. So thank you so much for taking time out to come and talk to us. It's been absolutely great fun. So just before we disappear, we have a few things coming up. I think next week is an unusually busy week for us. So for anyone that is still watching, on Monday, we are going to be having a go at our new feature, which is going to be called Mod Cons. We are a retro gaming show and retro gaming channel normally, but Mod Cons on Monday is going to give us a chance to chat about modern games and modern consoles, as we sort of alluded to on the streams that we do. I play a lot of modern games, so it's going to give me a really good chance to spout all the crap I want to say about all the modern games and all the games news that's going on at the moment. We have a stream as well, a regular retro stream next week, Dorbs. I can't remember.
Tuesday with Gold Tooth Gaming.
The man with a beautiful singing voice.
Yeah, he has got a lovely voice. I'm hoping he's going to sing us in and sing us out. So hopefully he's going to do that. But sadly, a couple of us can't make next Tuesday. So I have arranged for a special guest co-host. I won't say who it is. It's all top secret, but there is a special honorary co-host of RGR Live next week. He's going to join us. Really looking forward to that.
And am I right in thinking that EverChat comes back next week as well?
Yes, next Thursday at 8 p.m.
So that is a show that Ryan co-hosts with the Evercade fans group Non-Official, where they chat about all things Evercade, all the new releases. It's normally once a month, but I think there's been a few delays getting the next one going. So it's that's going to be happening next week as well. So we've got three streams happening next week, which is unlike us. We've gone from having almost a week off to then doing 3 in 1 week. So there's going to be plenty of content for people to get into next week. So yes. So again, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, we'll be able to get you on again at some point in the new year.
We could set up the GamesMaster versus Games World challenge.
Yes.
Get you over you and Dean on at the same time.
Looking at you.
Yeah, it's gonna have to do something.
We get that set up. Before you go,
I'm downloading a couple games, by the way. So on the PS5, which is Sifu. I don't know if you know that one.
Yes.
So you see the back there. That's been my nickname growing up, which is Sifu. So I've got to play the game that's named after me. And King of Fighters, I'll be playing that one.
Yeah.
And I know that's going to take a lot of time to learn characters. So.
Excellent. Dean's ready for this. Look at it. He's in. His fighting talk has begun.
Now,
bring it. Okay.
What's he saying now?
Sifu's awesome. Are you talking about me or the game, Dean? Huh? Sifu's awesome.
Before we go,
appreciate it. Thank you.
We haven't got time to do what's in the box, sadly. It's retired anyway because a couple of people have ruined it for everyone. They've made some disgraceful allegations, so it's retired. But what would have been in the box, and this is sort of backfired because our chat offline was going to be Donkey Kong for the.
See, we would have got that.
I would have got that in one guess, to be honest.
But it's not the Donkey Kong you played on GamesMaster, so it's sort of backfired now.
Yeah,
sort of backfired now.
I would have said.
Are you gonna? You should tell everyone what you did.
Have you got that clip?
You got that clip, Dobbs? You should tell the people who are watching what you did before we went live.
Yeah, I've made a bit of an idiot of myself. I asked Christian if this person was him, hoping to say, yeah, that's me, mate, because I watched, obviously, so Trevor say you season 4 episode 6. So I looked at that, got to a point where it's Donkey Kong, right? This has got to be him. Yep, that's in there, definitely 100%. And then when I asked you, like, no, that's not me. So I'm glad it wasn't on air. It was behind the scenes. So yeah, what I'll do, I'll put a link in the chat to your episode so everyone can have a look. But it's the
Donkey Kong Country Challenge, right? Not the Donkey Kong.
Yes. Yeah, not the one in 5 minutes.
Donkey Kong Challenge.
No, I mean, to be fair, we both got black hair, so it's easily mistaken.
And same sort of haircut as well, on the side, centre part.
Yeah, similar.
Typical mid-90s haircut.
90s haircut. Yeah, I think everyone had that haircut.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated it. I was due a haircut, and then I had to come in, so I couldn't get my haircut. It's terrible. But my Games World, I had a fresh haircut, but my Games Master, that's why I wasn't happy with that one.
See, that's why I didn't recognise you. If you had a haircut, I would have. But no, thank you so much. It's been amazing. It really has.
Thank you.
If there's anything you'd like people to link to, if you'd want people to follow you on any social medias, is there anything you'd like to get people to come follow you on?
I'm not really a social media. I'm on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. But apart from that, just watch all you guys' stuff, all your stuff. Instead of following me, just follow you guys and help you guys grow.
Thank you,
Hopefully,
buddy.
I help you guys grow.
Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you very much.
On that note, thank you everybody for watching. It's been an absolute blast. We've got all that stuff coming next week, and we shall see you all soon. So good night, everybody.
Ciao. Good night.
See you guys.